It's a beautiful Friday today, the beginning of the lovely weekend. So let's jump into a Transformers Slag podcast Patreon listener question. If you want to be part of the Transformers Slag podcast Patreon and help support the podcast, let us know we're doing a half decent job here in the YouTube world of Transformers. Patreon.com/Protoman, or check the pinned comment or the description below. What do you get if you help support the podcast? You don't get nothing. You don't get nothing. If you support me, I give you a little something, something. You get your name in the end credit scroll at the end of every segment moving forward, access to our awesome Discord where we break the news, talk Transformers, share the lore, share deals, share sales, share all kinds of cool stuff. Our Discord is awesome. And of course, depending on what tier you're in, get a little something, something in the mail, or even a chance to ask a Patreon listener question depending on the tier. And we have a Patreon listener question today from brand new patron Mirage101. And Mirage wants to know, hey Proto Man, do you believe the Transformers Rise of the Beast movie will be a financial success? With the many factors like the big V, he actually wrote something else, but I have to say big V. With the big V, theater competition, especially with the new Spider-Man movie being delayed to happen the same weekend of Rise of the Beast, and also the popularity of Beast Wars. Also, do you believe that there will be enough distance between Rise of the Beast and the previous Michael Bay movies for that audience to distance themselves from those movies with this new direction? And how will it affect the audience's perception of the movie? If not, a whole confirming if it is a reboot or a prequel is also a good thing. Love the podcast and everything you do, man. Mirage 101. Well, thank you, Mirage, for the kind words. There's a lot to unpack here. Especially, it's hard to really make that call if it'll be a financial success when we're less than a year away from the movie. Because Rise of the Beast officially, unless they change something on us, Rise of the Beast officially is supposed to debut in theaters June 9th, 2023. So we're less than a year away. But we have no trailer. We have we have nothing really. Like, unless you're like part of the hardcore fandom, you're looking at the stolen toys and looking at, leaked images of product stuff and everything like that. But I've said this many times. The hardcore fandom, us, we don't matter in this equation when we talk about financial success. Because if the movie is bad or if the movie is good, we're still going to see it. We're still going to be there day one to see it, to find out ourselves if it's bad or good. People have to understand that regardless if a movie is bad or good, it's all about the hype and it's all about the marketing leading into it that get people into it. I mean, look, this is just my own personal opinion, but I never understood the appeal of the Avatar movie. I didn't think it was that great a movie, but the hype and the appeal and the 3D made it one of the best-selling movies of all time. And just with that word of mouth among casual audiences did that. Now, when we're talking about the casual audience, and again, let's be real, they're not there to win over Transformer fans. They're there to win over that casual audience. They're there to win over that $2.7 billion of people who went to see Infinity War. When just 2 months prior to Infinity War, they didn't even know what the Infinity Gauntlet was. You want those people, for better or for worse. Those are the ones that move the needle, so to speak. So it's all going to be in the marketing. It's all going to be how you're going to get those people into the movie theater and be excited about Rise of the Beast. Now, there's a few things going in its favor right now for Rise of the Beast. And I'll pretty much paint it out a little bit like this. Every single Transformer movie that we got previously of the live action stuff has had a turnover from sequel to sequel of either 2 years to 3 years, some even less, which I'll get into in a moment. Like the first Michael Bay movie, 2007, to Revenge of the Fallen, a 2-year wait. Then from Revenge of the Fallen to Dark of the Moon, a 2-year wait. When Dark of the Moon didn't do as well as they had hoped, especially even on the toy side, but even movie-wise financially, they really kind of went, maybe we're going to wait 3 years now. And that was Age of Extinction, which came out 3 years later. And then The Last Night came out 3 years later. And then Bumblebee, the movie, after The Last Night, came out a year later. They didn't even wait. It's even less than a year. And then we had Bumblebee. Now, Bumblebee was the worst selling of the movies at, I think it was $460 million, I believe it was. Not to mention when you factor in the budget for the movie, which I believe was $105 million or something, and marketing, they probably were not happy with how much Bumblebee made. And Bumblebee was supposed to be, their flagship boy, the one that makes them all the money. So Hasbro and Paramount really have to take a step back and go, what is going to put butts in the seats from the casual audience? Obviously, G1, Optimus Prime, and or Bumblebee is not bringing people into theaters. People didn't want to see a Bumblebee movie. So that didn't move that needle. So I say, well, here's the first advantage you guys have. Bumblebee movie was 2018. It's been 5 years. The longest gap we've had since the 2007 movie without a Transformer movie. 5 years so far. That's fantastic. That's so much time for people to forget about if they didn't like Transformers. And I mean the casual audience and why they were bored of it, let's say. Combined with the fact that right now Marvel is going through a bit of a fatigue from audiences. People are bored with the Marvel movies. So that also helps a little bit. Where people, if they're going to want something different, hey, I haven't seen a Transformer movie in 5 years. Why don't we go check that out? So you might get that casual audience also of people that are just going to want to revisit. And like you mentioned before, if it's something that's also a loose kind of soft reboot, rather than it be, a sequel to something that they feel they might have missed, it also doesn't alienate people who might have not watched the Bumblebee movie, which, judging by how much ticket sales Bumblebee movie had, was a lot of people. So that also is something to keep in mind. And then there's another factor. Marketing of the Beast Wars element of it. Because if you're not going to be moving tickets with Bumblebee and Optimus Prime who are in the movie, you're going to want to market it with the Optimus Primals, the Cheetors, the Air Razors, and so on. You want to market that other side of it. Now, why am I saying market those guys instead? Well, if you were 5 years old when Beast Wars came out in 1996, you're in your 30s now. You're in your 30s. If you were even there for the tail end of Beast Wars, you're in your mid-20s. So what I'm trying to say is they're the prime demographic right now for movie ticket sales, splurging their income is the Beast Wars fandom. The G1 guys, let's be real. They're in the 40s, 45. They got a mortgage. they got other things to worry about. So, and if you skew younger, like even younger than that, you might have a Unicron trilogy kid or something, but in general, that's already the video game generation. So you have to really market directly to those Beast Wars fans. So what I'm trying to say is that whatever that trailer is going to be, whatever that hype is going to be leading up to the movie, they're going to have to lean on it going, hey, Gorilla Optimus Primal, and really show that. Because that's what people who casually were Beast Wars fans, who bought Beast Wars toys as kids, but then left the Transformer hobby for whatever reason. I mean, I've spoken to hundreds of different people throughout the years who were fans of Beast Wars as a kid, but then just trailed off away from it. But then they meet me and they go, oh, you like Transformers? I loved Beast Wars as a kid. The one common thing I always saw was they loved Beast Wars. Oh, 96, 97, 98. And then boom, Pokemon came out. And then we lost them to the video game world forever. They never came back. And then those guys, wherever they went afterwards in their fandoms or hobbies, they didn't return to Transformers. So you got to get those guys that remember Beast Wars, remember that CG show, remember that cheetah, remember that talking rat. Go for that angle. That's the casual audience that's going to move those ticket sales. Anyone else at that point is going to make a decision just based on how they feel that day. Because Transformers already has kind of a built-in reputation for how those movies are going to be, like it or not, from what Michael Bay did. Travis Knight didn't exactly change that reputation. I'm not saying he didn't do a good job, But at the same time, also, it's not like people saw Travis Knight movie and said, oh my God, it's so much better than anything Michael Bay has ever done. Now Transformer movies are good. He did a good job, but he didn't create that kind of buzz, no pun intended, with Bumblebee. But he didn't create that kind of buzz that made people want to go see Bumblebee because of how different it was from a director standpoint or an action standpoint. So Stephen Caple Jr., Mr. Creed, who did the Creed movie, we'll see how it goes. But that's something we're only going to find out the day of. And you're not really, shifting the tide 100% on release day. And sometimes movies, they get a 2-week window, maybe a 3-week window, and that's it. So even with social media and how quick information works today, people might go to see Rise of the Beast, and it might be the best thing ever. And yeah, they could tweet about it and say how amazing it is. But I find that 99% of ticket sales and the success of movies are already determined way before people even know if it's going to be a good movie or not. Look at those Michael Bay movies. They're not very good, a lot of them, but they made zillions of dollars because people already had in their mind that they were going to go see it because of hype and excitement. So, and these were casual fans. So let's see what happens. I mean, it's going to fall on that trailer. How they take that trailer, how they're going to market it, how that trailer, and then in turn, the movie posters that are going to be in subways and on the side of, bus stops. How are they going to publicly market this movie and target a very specific casual audience that has a vague remembrance of a 90s CG toy line that was ridiculously successful at that time? Beast Wars in 97, 98 was an extremely successful brand for Hasbro and Kenner. So it's something where, how are they going to market that? Because if they do trailers and they're just going to be showing Truck Optimus Prime and, Scourge and stuff like that, some people are going to go like, oh, it's just the same Transformers again. It's Optimus Prime fighting some kind of random metallic character, because no one's going to, the casual fans aren't going to know who Scourge or Nightbird or Battletrap are. So they're going to be like, okay, whatever, and then they're going to skip it. But if they see the Beast stuff, at least it's something different. They're going to be like, oh, the Beasts are in it. Oh, I remember Cheetor as a kid. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll give it a chance. I think that they have to play up that element heavily. Make that the focus. Make that the feature. Even if Optimus Prime is the leader and the Prime character, you have to go, hey, Optimus Prime. Hey, look at this gorilla. Hey, look at the gorilla transform. Oh, man, it looks like the gorilla in robot mode like he did in season 1 of that Beasties kind of cartoon, right? You got to do that. You got to do that, because that's the secret to success with this stuff. Because you might like those Marvel movies, but let me tell you something. The reason why those Marvel movies did extremely well was not because of hardcore fans. They did extremely well from people that don't... You probably could corner someone right now who went to see Infinity War and go, what color was Thanos' skin? And they'll go, it was pink or was it blue? I don't remember. Trust me, a lot of these people who paid money to see these movies don't even remember them. But they were part of that hype bandwagon, and they got pulled into it. And before you know it, 2.7 million and billions and zillions of dollars later, it shows. So that's how I think they'll find success. Will it be financially successful? Show me that trailer, and then I'll give you that answer. And that's why I think we'll revisit this question at some point in the future when we get that trailer, whenever that is. We have a Transformer Thursday coming up next week. It's probably going to be toy related. Won't be a trailer reveal. They'll save that for like a San Diego Comic-Con or something. But we will see. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you think. But again, it's really going to fall on the marketing more than anything else. The movie could be absolutely garbage, or it could be literally an amazing piece of cinematography. But at the end of the day, if people aren't excited or hyped for it, it's just going to be a cult classic when it's all said and done, and we don't want that. But anyways, thank you for the question, Mirage. And if you want to be like Mirage and join the Patreon, help support the podcast, again, patreon.com/protoman, or check the pinned comment or the description below. And tomorrow we have a Saturday night live stream, so be sure to tune in for that too. And we're just going to relax, talk Transformers, and take some super chats from the fans and just enjoy the rest of the evening. Take care, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow, and rock out with the robots in disguise.